Hallo Leute und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Episode von Let's Play the Cat Lady. Und wir machen dort weiter, wo wir in der letzten Episode aufgehört haben, nämlich mitten im Gespräch mit Mitzi auf unserem Balkon. Und wie wir sehen, hat endlich der Regen aufgehört.
Oh, it's not raining anymore.
Oh well, I don't mind rain. Sometimes I even like it. But according to weather forecast, there's a nasty fog coming. Now that I'm actually scared of. I got lost in a fog once, when I was just 9 or 10. I remember I sat under a tree crying, thinking some monster would appear right in front of me and drag me away.
But now that you're a big girl, you know there are no monsters.
Yeah? How do you know?
Ich habe nie eins gesehen. Die einzigen Monster sind wir. Vielleicht hast du recht. Ich glaube an sie, wenn ich eins sehe.
Maybe you're right. I will believe in them when I see one.
With this fog approaching fast, you might be in luck, Miss Ashworth. I am so glad I'm not spending another night outside. I might be a big girl now, but there will always be a part of me that is frightened, I guess. Did you know they actually have a name for it? It's called homiclophobia, fear of fog.
We are living in crazy times, Mitzi. You mentioned a boyfriend. Tell me something about him.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about him. His name is Jack. He's dead.
Oh.
Miss Ashworth, are you sure you want to listen about my miserable life? I don't want to bring you down. These aren't happy stories.
And I'm not a happy stories kind of person. I'm sure you've noticed by now.
I guess so. Anyway, I suppose I would have had to tell you about Jack sooner or later. After all, he is the main reason I'm here. I just don't know where to start.
Erzähl mir, wie ihr zwei euch kennengelernt habt. Wie hat ihr die Neuigkeit mit deinem Krebs aufgenommen? Jack hat diese Bilder an deiner Wand gemacht. War er ein Künstler? Wie ist er gestorben? Wir zäumen das Pferd von hinten auf, würde ich sagen.
How did he die? How did he die?
I'll get to that, Miss Ashworth. Let me just tell you more about him first, so you could understand what happened.
Na gut, dann machen wir das doch nicht so rum. Und fangen von oben an, wie sich's gehört.
Tell me how you two met.
Oh, we knew each other for forever. We grew up on the same street. It's funny how we seem to be made for each other. Perfect match. I always knew he was the guy for me, and I'm sure he never doubted that either. Jack was absolutely crazy about me. We thought one day we would marry, have children, be happy. I never had many friends because I had Jack. I didn't need anybody else. You know, if there's one thing I'm really grateful for in my life, it's that I got to experience this pure, perfect love. Some people go through a lifetime without knowing how it feels. I guess I've been very lucky. But all luck runs out sometimes.
How did he take the news about your cancer?
He thought I was joking at first. He laughed. Then he got really angry. I swore to him I was serious, but he still wouldn't believe me. We had a big fight that night. It was our first and only fight. But it was awful. He smashed some stuff. His guitar, of all things, was the worst. He loved that guitar. Why did he break it? He was absolutely furious. He walked out on me that night, and when he came back the next day, he was different. Begged me to try surgery and chemotherapy. I didn't really want those things, but I did the chemo for him. It didn't help. It just made me feel sick all the time. But I did the chemo for him. It didn't help. It just made me feel sick all the time. Maybe that's why I didn't see what my cancer was doing to Jack, and it was destroying him as well. He changed. He became obsessed with death. It It seemed death was all he ever thought about, even though it was me, not him, who was supposed to die.
Jack made those pictures on your wall. Was he an artist?
He always liked all kinds of morbid stuff, whether it was music, movies, paintings. So do I, really. We had that in common, amongst other things. People say it's depressing to listen to sad songs or watch sad films, but I never felt that way.
And yet, you are scared of fog?
Oh, that's different. I might be scared of fog, but I like spiders. They're beautiful.
You must be out of your mind, Mitzi.
No, honestly, there's a certain indescribable beauty in sadness. Just like there's beauty in the grey and ugly winter morning when you look past the obvious and notice what others can't see.
You must love my apartment then. It's like Ugly took a vacation here and never went home again. How did he die? How did Jack die?
It was so distant to the last few weeks before he died. What I didn't know was that he kept looking for something. I don't think he even knew what exactly, but it eventually found him. Or rather, he found him. There are those forums online, you know, about all sorts of stuff. Fishing, computer games, horses, gambling, addictions, everything really. Accidentally, Jack stumbled upon one about suicide. Or rather, he found him. It's like a failed suicide club. People mostly try to help each other and offer support. Sometimes it just helps to know there are others like you. To listen to their stories and how they cope with their lives. But the Eye of Adam is an advocate of death. He dwells on human weakness. His job is to plant an idea, to give them a reason to die and tell them how to do it, once and for good. Jack took the bait. Before he knew, he was completely brainwashed. One day he sat down with me and tried to explain his perfect solution. It was the Romeo and Juliet kind of scenario. We were both to die together in each other's arms. It was supposed to be a quick and foolproof death. There was no chance we would have been saved, all thanks to the Eye of Adam, who created a tool for perfect suicide. He told me it was very simple. All we needed were 2 easily accessible household chemicals, which combined together create a gas called hydrogen sulfide that kills you within a couple of minutes. I told him he was fucking nuts, of course, but he just wouldn't give up. He reasoned with me, then he begged, and eventually just kept screaming at me. I figured it was his crazy idea of a modern romance, but it was downright tacky and just wrong. Finally, he said he would get everything ready and wait for me in our special place at dawn, 5 in the morning. Don't be late. Those were his last words he said to me. Then he stormed out. I cried for hours, thinking I didn't deserve all that from the person I loved most in the whole world. A few times I even tried to persuade myself that maybe he was right and I should do it. I just couldn't. I eventually fell asleep. I didn't plan it. My head was killing me. I was so tired. I woke up suddenly. I could see the sun rising out my window. It was nearly 5. In utter panic, I threw myself off the bed and ran out the door. I needed to stop him. I needed to get there before it was too late. But right there in my bedroom, before I even left, I already knew it was. When I arrived at our special place, it was already bright. We used to go there in the past, drink wine, sometimes smoke weed and listen to Pink Floyd, sometimes make love in Jack's car. There wasn't really anything special about that old parking lot. But else there was. It was completely abandoned. It was quiet. It was safe. After that day, I've never gone there again.
Okay, wir spielen jetzt als Mitzi anscheinend. Oh Gott, ich habe ein bisschen Angst, wie wir ihn vorfinden. Ist ja hier schon... Ne, das ist nur ein Lehrersitz. Ich will nicht. Da stand drauf, Stopp, giftiges und entflammbares Gas inside, also im Auto. Tut mir leid. Ich glaube, jetzt verstehe ich. Da war ein Zettel an den Autofenstern. Wie stark ist dieses Gas? Wir reden mal darüber, denn offensichtlich wollte er sich zwar selbst das Leben nehmen, aber alle anderen davor schützen.
There were signs on the car windows.
Warning signs, yeah. I found on that forum that the Eye of Adam doesn't want any accidental deaths. So we posted this poster design for people to print. It turns out there's a whole sick ideology behind it. Fumes from the car could hurt anyone who opens the door, and that's not the point. The idea is to die willingly and with clear mind, to prepare for it, to embrace it.
Jesus. You'd think the police would investigate the whole thing. Sounds almost like a sect.
This guy knows how to hide. The police can't be bothered to make an effort. It took me 3 months to track him down. Now I'm finally so close. I can almost smell that fucker.
How strong is that gas?
Extremely deadly, it turns out. It kills in minutes. It's that stinky stuff that smells like rotten eggs, you know? At high concentrations, it can knock down an elephant.
I'm so sorry. I think now I understand. He loved you so much, he couldn't bear the thought of living without you. And that guy, the Eye of Adam. I'm not surprised you want to find him. I know I would. I'm not sure if I should believe that you only want to talk to him. But hey, that's none of my business. I wouldn't know what I'd do if this happened to me.
Good to know, but I really just want to talk. I want to face Jack's killer and tell him what he's done to me. You know, the funny part is that he actually told me where he lives. He wants to meet me. Would you believe that?
How come?
Well, this kind of thing he does is called trolling on the internet. It's usually a form of extreme bullying and psychological cruelty. Those who are clever enough say, don't feed the troll. Don't talk to them. It only makes it worse if you show any interest in them at all. You wouldn't believe me at first. He's a hungry troll who wants to devour as many hearts as he can get a hold of. I emailed him and told him I was a massive fan who loves his work. You wouldn't believe me at first. But trolls are always hungry, and I was prepared to serve him a meal fit for a king.
What do you mean?
I fed him so much bullshit that he really believed I'm a suicide preacher just like him.
Great. I wish he'd given you his door number, though.
It's all a part of some sick game he's playing. Sooner or later, I'll find him.
What are those two chemical products?
Well, I'm not sure if you want to know that.
I get it. You don't want to tell me because I'm a fucking suicidal maniac. Is that it?
No, Ms. Ashworth. No, I didn't mean it like that. Okay. Maybe to some extent. Just replace maniac with victim and fucking with recovering. You've only just come back from the hospital. Whatever it was that made you do it, you proved you are capable of going through with it. I don't know you long enough to tell you if you're completely over it now. And the last thing I want is to give you stupid ideas. It would be just like what the Eye of Adam does. I would never forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me. I mean, how could I?
Was, wenn ich dir verspreche, es nie wieder zu tun? Ich habe meine Lektion gelernt. Die, die sterben wollen, finden immer einen Weg, es zu tun.
Those who want to die will always find a way to do it.
I'd really like to believe you, Miss Ashworth. But I will need you to promise me that you will never try this method.
All right. I can promise you that I will never try this method. Or any other method, for that matter. Been there, done that. Didn't enjoy it much. Do you believe me now?
Yeah, I think I do. Good. I'm glad you said that, you know. The recipe for this deadly cocktail is very simple. Any good housewife can make it in a blast.
Haben wir wieder Kontrolle über Susan? Ja, das haben wir. Und ich möchte dazu sagen, dass es ein sehr guter Zeitpunkt, um mal wieder eine Pause zu machen. Deshalb beende ich die Folge an dieser Stelle und bedanke mich bei euch dafür, dass ihr zugeschaut habt. Bis morgen bei der nächsten Episode von Let's Play the Cat Lady. Bis dann. Tschüss.